yeah. So please join us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks, Jason. Well, we're ready to move to our first presentation. John, are you ready?
Yeah, hopefully.
Good. So I hand it over to you. Thanks again for joining us tonight. And yeah, I hope you're having fun because we are always. So yeah, enjoy it.
Thank you.
Go, Jonathan.
Hello. Just want to say thank you guys first and foremost, because I said it on Facebook and all around, to be honest. I've been, well, actually following 3ds London for the good part of my career, mostly since 2008, when I was back in Brazil. Saw you guys and I would go like, what the hell are these guys doing, like meetups every month and stuff? I was like, holy shit, need to be there. So this is quite exciting for me, actually. I'm very happy and very honored. So yeah, hopefully this is good. So I'm going to share my screen.
I've been following your work for a while as well, man. The stuff you're doing at Tom Dixon.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was good fun when I was there, to be quite honest. Yeah, learned quite loads, actually. Not only from the team, like from Tom himself as well. It was really interesting. I think I'm gonna share a little bit on that on this one. So you guys see my screen right now?
I can see myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If, by the way, last time we did this with someone else, the sound wasn't working quite well. So if there's no music playing, which is quite important, if you can just give me a shout, it'd be amazing. Okay. So basically, I'm John Formento. I come from Brazil originally and lived there for quite a big part of my life, actually. And in 2014, I moved to the UK to work at an agency called Uniform, which I suppose all of you know, do really amazing work, and worked there for almost 5 years. And then in 2019, I moved down to London, which was something I really wanted to do, to work with British designer Tom Dixon. And it's a really good experience. Stayed there for about 1.5 years. And then last year, amidst the pandemic, I took the weird decision to try and go on my own finally, which was something I've been kind of dreaming, I don't know, for the past 10 years or something. So it was really exciting, a bit scared, but it kind of worked well so far. And today I just wanted to give you guys this brief intro about myself, and I'm going to keep this whole thing quite short and hopefully sweet. So that could be quite nice. I started with the whole Formento thing with the idea of trying to honor the work of, brands, architects, developers, and all kind of people who actually, will build some work afterwards, but they need to wrap it up quite nicely before that happens. And tonight I'm going to chat about 2 projects that have been done actually extremely recently, and I'm quite happy with them. So just want to share that with you guys today. So the first one I'm going to talk about is 19 Chairs project. This is a project created by 2 South London brothers, Tom and Will Butterfield. It is a charity project that not only is a reaction to COVID-19, but also celebrates, a great piece of furniture, the humble chair. So Tom and Will, throughout the pandemic, throughout the whole lockdown, they decided to make really good use of their time, and throughout 19 days, they created a chair per day, and then shipped that chair all across the globe for different designers to celebrate that piece and do their own take on the chair. So these are the 19 chairs Tom and Will created during the 19 days, and then these are the final. This is going to be sort of like a very quick run through the whole thing, but this is like what the designers came with, and they had an amazing lineup. They had Tom Dixon did a piece, Sabine Marcellis, the Dutch designer, did another one, S. Devlin, the London designer, did a piece as well. And it was quite funny because, you know, they got these pieces and they transformed, you know, some of them in completely different things. Like you see frames on the left-hand side, you see a light quite in the middle, which I believe is actually from S. Devlin, and some other amazing pieces. And the whole idea with this is not only, you know, being a creative project, but afterwards they're going to be auctioned and, you know, sold. And part of that money from the auction, it will go to 2 different charities, which I don't really remember right now, but I'll come back to that later. So yeah, so this is some of the other pieces that were created. There's got a whole bunch of different things. So yeah, so with that in mind, they came to me in December and decided, hey, let's do a collaboration. I think this is a good time. They wanted to refresh their feed on social media and stuff, and we had, you know, this idea of like making 3 animations for Instagram mainly. Tell a bit of the story, how the chairs come together, and make them, you know, fun and satisfying, because I believe that's a lot of people like to see on, you know, Instagram, like all the fun and satisfying videos and stuff. So yeah, so with that in mind, I've got the 19 chair models, which they designed previously in Rhino, I believe. I don't really remember. I've got a nice piece of plywood texture from Texture Supply, which a lot of people came to ask me afterwards, like, hey, where'd you get the texture from? So if anyone has any doubt, here is the texture. And then I had lots to do. And it was very short amount of time because I was doing in between client work. So yeah, we had to kind of run fast. So the whole idea with this one was literally to jump straight into kind of production. The brief was, you know, was very free and very loose, and they said, like, we just wanted, you know, something fun, something fresh, something quite, you know, contemporary in a way. So I just decided to start experimenting with a whole bunch of different things. As soon as you have the, you know, those chair models kind of done, it's just a question of like playing with lights and playing with movement and playing with, you know, materials and stuff, and make it quite graphic as well. Because when you look at the chairs, they are indeed quite graphic pieces. And then, yeah, it was just a whole set of exploration, a whole bunch more, to be honest. We then decided to go, you know, with no gray backgrounds, because the green you see on the background is part of the brand the 19 chairs have. And then we came to like final style frames before, you know, going into the full animation. So these are some of the pieces that came out. So it's a whole, you know, whole set of like playing with lighting, playing with shadows, and playing with that texture, which is like one of the most important things when it comes, you know, to plywood and stuff. We then got a bit of a end wood kind of thing for the timber, which worked quite well. And yeah, here is just a whole set of different, you know, style frames and shots and stuff. Whole bunch more. And we did a bit of playing with tide flow on this one, which is quite exciting because there's a whole buzz around tide flow right now, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. So you see on the top left, there's a bit of tide flow going on. And this is the final film. And I mean, the 3 of them actually, because we did 3, but what I was going to say on this one, it's quite funny because the first time we did solely for Instagram. So it's quite interesting putting this presentation and just leaving a vertical sort of ratio in there. So here it is. I hope the sound goes. Here it is. And then just to wrap this one up, and hopefully with the whole talk about COVID and stuff, next month hopefully we can go out a little bit more. And I just wanted to let everybody know that who wants to go out next month, you can go see in the exhibition at Protein Studios. It's going to be really exciting. There's a beautiful cause behind the whole project, so I really recommend everyone to visit. The next one, it's very fresh. It just launched yesterday. It's an incredibly special project that I did with Norman Copenhagen for the past month, roughly. And we started discussions in February to do a piece of animation for the new chair that was coming out, the Alec chair. So basically today is just all about chairs. And yeah, this was quite exciting because it was the first time I was working with, a Danish company directly. It's really cool, really admire the brands and their products for the past many years. And yeah, just gonna share a little bit of that. So when you first started this one, we had this, this email that had a little bit of information about what the chair was going to be like. It's a sort of cafe bistro chair where you can use either inside or outside. There's a whole set of materials and stuff like that that they wanted to showcase throughout the film. Not only that, but the ability to pack the chair and send all across the globe, because when you're working with hospitality and hotels and restaurants and things like that, you sort of need that feature, to facilitate the transport for the product. And yeah, we wanted to do that. And basically, we've got a whole set of references. This is some of the photography that they had going back in the day. It was just missing a bit of post-production and stuff like that. But, it was really good for the reference, just to get that understanding of how the product would be like. And then this was really good because they actually sent a sample of the chair, just so we can understand, a little bit further how the materials would play like, and how you kind of put the chair together, which again, really part of an important feature of the product. And we went from there. So with this one, it was really nice. I didn't put in the presentation, but it was actually quite interesting because they sent some of the references, and actually the 19 chairs came as a good reference for what they're looking for in terms of like lighting and movement and stuff like that, and kind of knew where to go roughly. And with that in mind, we had a briefing of, we're doing one animation that would go for the press kit and social media that would, explain the features and the material options of the product. We wanted to keep it clean and contemporary, just to sort of keep that aesthetic and design language of the brand that I suppose we all know quite well how it is. And we wanted to make it fresh, having nice sound, nice studio lighting, just again to maintain and keep that clean and contemporary aesthetic throughout. So with that in mind, with this one just jumped onto style frames directly, instead of going into storyboard, which normally happens. We kind of knew where we wanted to go with this, so we just jumped straight into that, just using very basic 3D models, basic textures, and all that kind of stuff that we all like to know about, I suppose. And yeah, we just went from there. As you can see, that it's very rough, renders all noisy and pixelated and all kinds of things. But you wanted to see that sort of material and lighting coming through across the frames. Just did a whole bunch of tests around colors, because they had 5 different colors for the product. A lot of abstract shots. Really like to go into the sort of abstractness of basically whatever I'm kind of doing. If it's a product, if it's a building or something like that, you always like to kind of have fun with that, because it brings out that design language that some of the companies, some of the designers are trying to put on their products. And with that, we just jumped into a first animatic, which I'm going to show you guys now. This was like the first sort of draft. There's like frames missing, music doesn't work well and stuff like that, but it's not too far from the final one. So I'm just going to play that for you guys. that was a bit of the animatic. Again, it was rough and noisy and stuff, but it works well, and it kind of tells the whole story, shows the sound, shows the music, shows the movement, which is really good. And then it was quite interesting because from there, as you can see a lot of the things going on, the comments were quite minimized in a way. So some of the comments were like, hey, let's change the logo in the beginning and just put the name of the chair, the specific font that they wanted. We wanted to change some of the cuts that show the different materials into something a little bit more dynamic. So if you can see on the right hand side, you can kind of understand how we wanted to translate the variation of material throughout the different elements that were on the screen, and basically added a whole set of different shots because it's a bit similar from one to another, and we wanted to break that a little bit. And some of the things that were missing from the first one was something like, let's match some of the shots with the beats and with the sort of slap and snares and stuff from the sound, which came out quite nicely at the end. And then add another color that was missing from the from the animation. High resolution, style frames that we wanted to improve and stuff. And then we went on to the final piece, actually, which very similar, I believe. Thanks, guys.